Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Greyhack. Um, I made a mini multi-tool called Fish, um, and I'm going to try and explain um, the coding process, basically, I think, or the structure of my script. This tool is designed to interact with remote systems, explore file structures, perform exploits, and manage shell sessions, all from a single menu interface. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So at the top here, I have libraries and the helper functions. Fish includes two core libraries, meta exploits right here and crypto.so. Meta exploit handles the network sessions, scanning memory segments, and performing exploits. It's pretty much where all the hacking power comes from. Meanwhile, crypto is used to decipher passwords and hashes when we dump etc password on the target system. Which, as you can see, I have that option there. Okay, so let's go over what the functions do. So the functions pretty much ensure that the script doesn't crash. Fish is very temperamental, likes to throw fits and runtime errors. But it's pretty much, okay, so what array contains pretty much does is it checks if a value exists in an array. I don't know how else to explain it. But let's just move on to the next one, I guess. Safe is iterable. Safely checks if an object can be iterated over. And there is a fallback here in case it returns null. I think that's how that works. Anyways, toNumber and safelun convert values safely to numbers and lengths. This helps avoid runtime errors. Safe call maybe. Let's see here. Allows for calling methods on an object safely if they exist. As you can see, I wrote some notes down here so that I would try and remember. See here. Yeah, but anyways, finally we get down to port number safe and get IP for port safe. And these retrieve port numbers and the IP address without crashing if data is missing. So if I don't put in an IP or ports, then it won't crash. And yeah. Next thing we're going to do is initialize the state variables. So like the IP, the ports, net session. Pretty much we're defining some variables here. Let's see here. So IP, port, net session, active shell. Keep track of the current target and session states. and shells, exploits, and mem segments store information about available shells and memory exploits. And just for style, before the menu loads, I put in a little fish logo here. It's supposed to be, it was originally a fox, but it didn't look like a fox. It looked like a fish. So I named it fish. Yeah, so this is what that looks like. It's right there. Now we're on to the main menu loop. As you can see we defined menu active up here. This is pretty much the heart of fish. This will not map, prints all this onto this menu right here, onto the screen. And then we define choice down here for the rest of the options, which I'll get to here in a second. But what I have here is nmap, set target LAN or set target IP and ports. Select active shell or computer so that we can exploit it. Show users on the targets, start the shell. We can upload files to the current target, dump the etc password and decipher hashes. And there is a mini file explorer, which is kind of working, kind of not. That's why this is there. So yeah, so here, set targets, like I said, this one, option 2, this one defines target IP and ports, clears the old session if you have one, and establishes a new network session. Fish will then, shoot, what am I trying to say here? Fish will then scan the memory segments and try the known exploits automatically, which will then populate our shells array with any available shell or computer objects. Let's see here. Option 1, which is nmap, zeros. Okay, so we assigned choice up here. So then if choice equals 2, then we define these two variables, which is our user inputs, and that's where we input our target IP and our target port. Like I said earlier, this clears the session, your old session, so that you can start a new one. This is where it collects the memory segments and exploits. Yeah. And this is where it overflows the mem segments and exploits to try and find computer and shells. And I don't know if I'm just being stupid or what, but for this next part, we're getting privilege levels, pretty much guest root or user. What I'm doing is I am attempting to get the usernames from the home directory. And if that doesn't work, then I fall back to etc password, which will go into etc password, get the content, and then split the hash from the name and print that into whatever format I have at the bottom. And to check if the shell has root access, I test the file system log, because only root has access to that, I think. That's how that works. And if it does have access, then it names the shell root. Obviously, this part does not work. I don't know why. I can't figure it out. Might be being stupid or whatever. I'm learning though. So why do I have this here? I have this in here twice. Why did I do that? I probably did it for a reason. I can't remember though. Okay. So anyways, it'll check if it's a computer type or a shell type and then label it that. And then this is where it displays the targets in my desired format. Right here. It will print forgot what order it prints in. Shit. Anyways, I'll show you guys here in a minute. I'm going to do a showdown of how this works here in a moment. So option 6 will start the active shell. Actually, let's just go in order here. Where's 1? There it is. Okay. So this is the nmap / land scan section / whois lookup. It lists open ports on devices connected to the network and prints whois information. So let's see here. So these are parameters right here. So for router get router, it'll set address to our target IP. It can't find it, and it'll say no router found at IP. If the LAN IP devices or the device LAN IP returns null, then it prints this. Other than that, oh wait, and then it will say it can't get ports for IP if need be. And this is where it stores what open ports are available. And then it'll tell us which ports are closed and which ports are open. this is where that prints. I think. Oh, anyways, so we already went over 2, so let's do 3 next. 3 is what we use to select the active shell / computer to interact with. This updates active shell and computer, or comp in my case, for subsequent commands. So pretty much what it'll do is it'll store the object type here and then print off or print the results with an index number in front of it. And then after it prints, it'll prompt us for a user inputs to select an index, so 0 through whatever. And I have a little fallback here, I believe that's what it's called. Or if you accidentally do this on a computer object, it'll say no shell is available. And if you input the wrong parameter, it'll fall back to invalid selection here, instead of just crashing and giving you a runtime error. So now let's go to 4. And 4 is what we use to clean the logs. We need root access to do that. So over here, I labeled it root only. But pretty much if access level is equal to root, then we define logs as comp.file and provide a path here. And if logs aren't null, then it will delete the log file and print logs removed if it was successful. If var doesn't exist, it'll print. I'm just going to change that to var not found. And if it can't do that, then instead of quitting and giving up on life, it will print out root access required to clean logs. If it's not able to remove the logs. So yeah. Now on to 5. This one's pretty simple as well. This just shows users on the targets. So it's kind of like an SMTP dump, but it's a little different. This displays all usernames from etc password on active computer. So I believe we need root or user access to print that. Don't know why I set it up like that, but I did. I might change this at some points to something else, something a little more reliable. So yeah. What this will do is it'll grab the etc password, get its content, and then it will print this little banner right here, users. And then what it'll do is it'll print contents, I believe. No, down here. What it's going to do is it's going to split the name from the hash. I think that's here. It's either there or it's here. Oh wait, it splits the content right here. So root, user splits those. And here is where it removes or separates the name from the hash and stores it and prints it. Now, if this fails, it'll fall back to could not read etc. If permissions are denied, or if etc password simply doesn't exist, it'll say that. Or if you have no computer or shell access, it'll say this. So yeah, that's 5. 6 is just a simple start shell. Let's see if we can find it. And sorry, everything's such a mess. Let's see here. There it is. Okay, this one is super simple as well. So if we choose 6, then active shell. If active shell is not null, then it will start a terminal. Or if there is no shell available, it'll print this. And 7 is my upload option here. This one's a little bit bigger, a little more complicated. But to keep it short and simple and sweet, it uploads files via SCP from your local system to the target shell. So let's see here. Let's break this down for you guys. So this is where we select our shell. Right here, that's the section. It prints off your local shell or your computer, along with all the shells that were acquired during the set target option. So you have an option to upload from target shell to target shell as well, instead of just from local shell to target shell. That makes sense. And then from there, oh wait, this is where we, oh yeah, and then from there we go down here and we choose our target shell. If there's no shells and it only returns computers, it will say shells, no remote shells available for upload. And this is where SCP is initiated with its parameters. And when it's successful, it'll print the remote path plus the local path, and do a split. 8, I don't really feel like I need to explain too much. This is our exit block. So if menu active comes back false, which, or wait, no. Okay, so if we choose number 8, then menu active equals false. And before it completely exits, it'll print exiting menu. So up here, we defines that as true. So that's while menu is active up here, it doesn't quit. And 9 is our etc password and decipher dump. So this is, again, it grabs the file etc from the local computer or the target computer, gets its content, and if content isn't null, then it prints etc password along with content. So this is where it prints the name and the hash. And then it checks if the crypto is true, if cryptolib is included. And if it is, then it'll print deciphered and start deciphering our hashes. So it'll split the name from the hash, and then store username in parts 0 and the hash in parts 1, or array 1. Parts array, yeah. Anyways, and then from there it'll decipher the hash. And right here, it'll print roots as red. And user as orange. And then, yeah. So that's 9. And then 10, we have our mini file explorer. So here I open up another exploring loop, or another while loop, I should say. Mostly because I have other commands I want to run in here, like ls, cat, cd, showmod, stuff like that. So in here I have ls. The file explorer is buggy. Upload, download don't work, which is why I have upload as a separate option over here. I'm planning on adding a download here eventually. But yeah, so I have cats rm, remove directory. I have current directory here. We have show mod so that we can change privileges on folders and files. And a move option to move files from directory to directory. And then I think this is where we end loop 10, option 10. So our file explorer. And I think this is where we end our exploring loop, or our menu loop, sorry. So yeah, this allows you to explore the target computer or the active computer. And Yeah. I go over this a little more, but um, I'm running out of time here. I got all the basics, um, stepping building blocks from the manual, and then I modified those to my own needs. And what I mean by that is, let me show you. Okay. I can type in the right password. So type in code editor, code, and then whatever command you want to add or want to look at. So say we want to look at ls. So you do that and it'll pop up Greyhack's basic building block for ls. And this is the block I used to build my ls block over here. This one, yep. Yeah, that's how I figured that out. Yeah. So to summarize, the tool in general. Fish is basically a versatile mini multi-tool for remote system interaction. It automates target scanning and exploitations, dynamic shell management, prints user and system information, and partial file management for the time being, until I can add more to this. So security and features. Fish includes several safety layers, and it validates inputs, ensures permissions before modifying files, and wraps calls to remote objects in safe helpers, which is where these helper functions come into play. This prevents runtime errors when parameters or functions are missing or are inaccessible at the moment for some reason. Yeah, so that's my script. I don't know if I need all of this in here, but I just put it all in there so that choice 2 clears the old section when you select it. If you put this outside of choice 2 block, it will continuously and forever, because of the while loop, clear the session and the IP and shells, so you won't be able to set your target and exploit it. Found that out the hard way. I also don't know if, I actually think I do need these, but I don't know if I need all of these up here, since I have, no, I do need those up there, I think. Yeah, okay, never mind, ignore me. Let's see here. Okay. I think that's it. All I wanted to go over. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how the tool actually works itself. Um, so from here, let's just do a basic demo. So we'll select one and input our IP here. And this is what that output looks like. Who is information? Interesting, it has an R shell on it. Open ports and which LAN IP is associated with those ports. And what other computers are on that network. And I forgot to say this, but right here is where it'll tell you if you have a shell or a computer active, which this will change after we set our target and select the active shell. So let's go ahead and set our target. Let's just do port 22. And then it's going to exploit the libs, and then grab all the vulnerabilities or all the exploits that it can, and then list what it found. So we hit 3. So I haven't debugged this yet. It'll say access routes, and what user is on there. So object, what access it has, and what users are on there. It's supposed to print both the users, I believe, that are on the target. So let's go ahead and select that, and you'll see here that it changes the active shell, and tells you what level you have. The user privileges. So in this case, we don't have roots, we have user. I don't know how to fix that. I need to fix this so that it's a little more reliable and you actually know what you're looking for. But it'll give you the host computer and what IP and port you are on. So this is where your information, your basic information is listed. Let's go ahead and see if we can list. Yep. So 5 lists our users, which we can use for social engineering and stuff like that. I'm not going to use choice 6 because I don't want to start a shell quite yet. But 7 works by entering your local path. So I'm just going to do roots, my program, and then what remote folder you want to upload to the target. So I'm going to do home guest, and then it'll prompt you for what shell you want to upload from. So for this, we're going to do our local shell or my computer. And then we're going to select the target shell to upload through, which in this case doesn't matter, I guess. And then it will upload those. All right, and file was successfully uploaded to target. And now we can Okay, so I need to rearrange this menu a little bit so that the flow is a little bit easier. So now we can dump the etc passwords and hashes. That's interesting. Okay, so interesting. I wonder if that's an issue or what. Let's try this IP. Okay, we'll do ports 80 and see what we got on here. I just want to see if that's issue. Doesn't look like it is. Nope. Okay, perfect. So it wasn't an issue. That's good to know. Okay. Wasn't able to decipher. So if it's not able to decipher the hash, it'll print pass. I could change that to just print nothing. That might be a better idea. Make it a little less confusing. I have no active shell. Oh, because I have no shells. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll tap different ports and see. And if I can't find a shell, one of these, I'm just going to go back to the old IP I was using. Nice. Okay, we got shell. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to upload my program again. To home guest from my local computer to the target shell. I'm working on adding some color to all of this too. So that was successfully uploaded. Now I'm going to show you the file explorer. So when we first get in here, we did get root access. Interesting. It'll throw us into the current directory. So cd goes back without typing in ... ls works by, let's see if our program's in there. It is. Let's make sure that we're actually on our target's computer. We is. Perfect. So now if we cd home guest, now we can remove my program. And that'll remove target file that you input. What other commands did I have in there? I can't remember. That's right, shellmod. So, oops, wrong one. So we can also do lsla, which will print what we've got in here. So what we can do is we could show mod current directory. So we're going to make it recursive. And let's just add guest privileges to trash. So read write executes to trash. Wait, yeah, type in the full directory. Home guest dot trash. Maybe there we go. Okay, permission was denied. That's okay. But we can remove permissions still, I believe. Let's see if this chmod still actually works or if it broke it. Other minus, wait, recursive. Other minus read writes executes home guest. Let's just do config. There we go. Okay, so it did actually work. So now if we do lsla, config no longer has guest privileges. Oops. Shit. Okay. So that's that. Nice. Okay. It's actually working this time. Now let's see. There's move. I don't know how I forgot all this. My memory's bad. I have some severe ADD too. Yeah, so upload and download don't really work. Which is, again, like I said earlier, why I made it a separate block. Yeah, so that's fish. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it helped somebody. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. And as always, have an amazing day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.